North Shore Knights. This is Cooper Dawson, your principal.
Hello, this is Amy Stewart. I'm your assistant principal.
Thank you for joining us for our Meet the Administrator program. We just wanted to make you aware. We know that it's a very different year this year, and we'll be managing both a traditional and uh, non-traditional format. And we just want to make you feel comfortable about the beginning of the new school year.
And we certainly welcome you and want to take the chance to get to introduce ourselves as your administrators and a point of contact if you need our assistance. We will always direct you to the teacher first, but we are certainly here to support you if you need us.
We are the North Shore Knights, KNIGHTS. K, keep trying. N, nurture the environment. I, inspire cooperation. G, give your best effort. H, have respect. T, take responsibility. And S, support fellow Knights. Following these guidelines will help us be successful in the classroom and in life. These are our guidelines to success that we share with our students every day to help them stay focused on making good decisions and being successful in the classroom. As I said earlier, this will be a very different year, just managing both our traditional setting kids and then also our students that are doing my PCS. There are a lot, I'm sure there's going to be a bumpy road ahead. Just like today, we had scheduled the live and then we ran into some difficulties, but we're still here. So I want to encourage you to be very patient next week. We've got new processes and new things that we're doing. So just be patient.
And speaking of processes, we want to talk to you a little bit about arrival and dismissal. So thinking about arrival as we just kind of move around the campus, next week, for the first 5 days of school, kindergarten students will be allowed to be dropped off, and their siblings will be allowed to be dropped off at by the kindergarten pod. That is along 34th Avenue. There are parking spaces there. We will have a little celebration for you with the staff at the gate. You will say your goodbyes there, wish your students well, and they'll be on their way to start their first day of school. As we move towards First Street, that is where our car circle is located. So moving beyond those first 5 days, then starting on August 31st, all kindergarten through fifth grade students will then begin to be dropped off at the car circle. And as we move around campus to 35th, is where our bus circle is located. Our bus students will arrive there and be dropped off near the front office. And all walkers and bike riders will enter the campus through the gates at the cafeteria. As far as dismissal process goes, please be patient with us these first few days of school. It's going to be looking a little bit different, potentially a little bit slower than usual to keep our social distancing protocols in place and to minimize those transitions in large groups of students and staff. So car circle will be dismissed via intercom at first. We're looking to make some implementation of some technology programs that are related to dismissal to make it a little bit quicker. But those first few days might be a little bit slower than usual. So we just ask for your patience. And a great resource for some in-depth information about arrival, dismissal, campus maps, those sorts of things are right on the face page of our North Shore website.
Now, all students and staff will be required to wear masks throughout the day. Students will be receiving 5 masks, one for each day of the week. And we know that for some of our younger Knights, it may be a little bit challenging to wear their mask on a regular basis. We also know that we have some students with sensory issues that might make them a challenge for them to keep the mask on all day. Now, we don't want the mask to be a discipline issue. However, we will work to help our students become more familiar or more comfortable with wearing masks. We will work with you as a family to help wear the mask. But if it becomes a safety issue or if it's someone who's just refusing to wear masks, then we will work with the families so that they can do online learning. Our most important thing, in first of all, making sure our students grow academically, but most importantly, that they are safe while they're on campus. We want to keep our students safe and healthy. So any measures we can take to do that, we will.
And Ms. Dawson and I are going to move through some of the questions that we received prior to this meeting. So I'll start with recess. We did have a question about recess, and I believe it was, how will that look? Will it happen? So recess, yes, is part of our master schedule as usual. It will be for 20 minutes per day. What we are doing at the start of the school year is during that health ed recess block, it will start inside. But our PE department and our district staff has provided us with several physical activity break links. And we also encourage teachers during that time, if the kids need to take a walk around campus as a class, take a mask break, stretch break, get some fresh air, then we will encourage that as well. And Ms. Dawson's going to go over, I believe we got some questions regarding gifted and our specials classes.
Yes, parents wanting to know about gifted services and always, and also specials. Well, first of all, Mrs. Laskanik is still our gifted teacher, and she will be doing both face-to-face and my PCS at the same time in the classroom. So it's what we call simultaneous learning. So she will be reaching out to those families individually to let you know what day students should sign on, and you'll be able to get more information there. We will continue to have art, music, and PE. Now, PE may look a little different this year because we are also have to maintain those social distance. So our students will have a mask with a lanyard on it. So they'll come to PE with their mask on. Once they get to PE, they have a specific area where they will stand. They'll be able to take off their mask, participate in the activities. What we want to do is make sure they're not putting them on the ground or doing something unsafe with them, and then they will put their mask on before going back to class. And of course, art, music, and PE, just like all of the other classes, they will have social distancing in the classroom as well. Uh, for music, we are going to hold off on having band and chorus temporarily. We know at least for the first 9 weeks, we won't be having that. And then once that is over, we'll be able to just make some decisions about next steps.
Okay, and the next question I'll address. We did receive some questions about testing. So that does become a unique format when we think about our kids that are coming back face to face, our kids that are learning on MyPCS. So starting with kindergarten, one of the very first things that they do is they take a state assessment called Flickers. And that is a kindergarten readiness assessment that they take on a yearly basis. So what that's going to look like is kids will be taking that when they get back face to face, and that particular assessment cannot be taken remotely. However, we will be contacting families that are on MyPCS that have kindergarten students, and we will be making a plan to see if those students are able, or if you agree to a schedule that would allow those students to come onto campus specifically to take that assessment. MAP testing, that's a test that kindergarten through 5th grade will take. Kindergarten does not take it until the winter. 1st through 5th grade, they take it fall, winter, and spring, and that assessment will be given both face-to-face and remotely. FSA testing, which is our state testing process for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, that is scheduled as far as we know right now, but that does not occur until April or May. So more information will certainly be shared with us at a later date. And Ms. Dawson is going to update you on construction.
Some of you may be aware there will be construction on campus this year. We are having a 10 classroom building constructed on campus with 2 resource rooms, and that will be starting in October. So you will see quite a bit of construction on campus. We do know that those of you who are familiar with our campus know our campus is really small, so that will impact that PE will have to like kind of move around some, but we are making that a priority because that's a part of their core curriculum. But there will be construction, so you'll see that coming, and hopefully by the time the building is complete, we'll be able to open up and you'll be able to come through and have a tour.
And I will address the question we received about uniforms. We are a uniform school. There is a comprehensive list on our North Shore webpage that does list out the color, our shirt colors, the requirements of that dress code policy. And one specific question we've received quite a bit is, do our students have to adhere to the dress policy, the uniform policy, if they are learning remotely on MyPCS? And the answer is we don't have that expectation of a uniform per se, but we would expect that they be dressed school appropriate and ready to learn. And Ms. Dawson's now going to update you on questions and information about the isolation room plus extra clothes.
Now, I know some of there's obviously going to be a concern. What if a child has symptoms? What if a child gets a fever? Now, we will have both a clinic and an isolation room. We have a nurse on campus, and the expectation is if there are minor injuries, kid gets a scratch or something like that, the teacher has supplies in the classroom. But if there is a concern about symptoms or fever, the nurse will go to the classroom and bring the student to either the clinic or the isolation room. The parent will be called right away, and the expectation is, of course, that parents will bring their child, and then we would proceed from there. One question we had was, what if someone gets diagnosed? What will the steps be? Well, our district is working very closely with the Department of Health and the CDC, doctors from Johns Hopkins. So what we do is we report the incident, and then the district will give guidance on whether it's isolation or if we need to close a class, or whatever decisions will be made that will come. And then we would, of course, share with the classroom, the kids and the families that are involved. We are monitoring where students are, who they're seated near, who's in and out of the classroom, so that we can be able to trace anyone who might perhaps be in jeopardy. We're also asking that you please consider sending your student with an extra change of clothes. And the reason we're asking that, because throughout the day, regularly, students may drop their milk or rip their pants, or just anything can happen with kids. And because we're monitoring our office and trying to keep things kind of closed down, we want to limit the amount of kids that have to come into the clinic. So if they have an extra change of clothes on them, then that kind of decreases the chance that they would have to come to the office for a change of clothes. So if you would consider doing that for all of your students, just letting them have an extra set of uniforms with them. Now, if you notice on the screen, there is a chat area. If you are here and you have some specific questions that we have not addressed, this would be the opportunity for you to do so. While we're waiting to see if we have questions, I just want to remind you that our school's website is managed by Mrs. Gramlich, and she does an awesome job of just keeping all of the information current. There's links on the site. Most of the information we've given, any updates, all of that is on the site. So please make sure that you're visiting the school's website frequently, because your questions will more than likely be answered there. Also, every week I send out a phone call to try to, give you information that you'll need to be successful through the week. That usually comes out on Sunday evening. Now, I noticed from sending out information about Meet the Teacher, I got a lot of messages that, one person would get the call and someone else wouldn't. And so we're going to ask you if you would please make sure you update your email address with your parents so that we can go ahead and make sure that everything in the system is correct. Our system was overhauled or changed during the summer, so we do notice that there's some information that has been kind of moved around, and we want to get that cleaned up. I do see one question. When are they scheduling gifted eligibility meetings and IEPs? Very good question. With gifted eligibility, you want to start with Ms. Laskanic. She can keep you updated. We do have a new person that works with eligibility meetings, and those will be online. So they would contact you to schedule a meeting. But I would follow up with Ms. Laskanic so that you can kind of get an idea of the timeline. More questions? Sorry if I missed this. No backpacks. We did let teachers make that decision. However, I am encouraging to at least consider backpacks, because if you did hear, we would like you to send your students with additional set of clothes. But I do know the concern from especially some of the primary teachers is that because there's limited space in the classroom with the social distancing. So just follow whatever your teacher's lead is, and we'll go from there. The playground will be open. We do have sanitizing equipment that can be used after each play period. And so we have a schedule for doing that. We also have a schedule for routinely cleaning the bathrooms and checking the areas throughout the day. We have a crew that will be doing that. Also, each teacher has cleaning equipment so that they can sanitize throughout the day. So we've really tried to put a lot of things in place to make sure that students still have that school experience, but still keep it safe. What are we doing about water bottles, and did we get enough donations? I will update that on the site. We are a few short at some grade levels, but mostly about 8 to 10 at each grade level. But I will update that on our website and on our Facebook site. But I'm sure we have enough to start off with. What is the procedure if we have a positive case? I just explained that if we have a positive case that is reported to the Department of Health, the CDC, and depending on where the child is located, the district will make the determination how to whether it's a full school or just that classroom. They make the decision on that. It's just based on the circumstances of the case. Just some very good questions. Thank you. If there's anything else the parents should do to support our teachers at the beginning of the school, I would say the biggest thing to support is just being patient. As I said earlier, we've worked very hard for it to be smooth, but as you know, it's kind of like if things can go wrong, generally they will. This live is a perfect example. We sent out links ahead of time. We practiced, and then when we went to go on, the link just didn't work. So just be patient. The teachers may run into some difficulties with the online lessons. Lessons may not upload the way it's supposed to be. Dismissal may be very slow. So just being patient, kind, and understanding is the biggest gift that you all can give everyone. We want this to be a successful year, but we realize there are a lot of changes, a lot of challenges. But we want our kids to be happy. We don't want them to be afraid or worried at school. We have a lot of things in place. We have our masks. We have our plexiglass. We're doing everything that we possibly know and can do. Thank you so much. We do appreciate your support. Um, and like I say, that is the greatest gift that you can give us. We're very excited about the school year. We know it's going to be a challenge, because we're a community school. We're used to having everyone around, so we've got to make sure that we're able to try to maintain that closeness, even though we're more on the technology involvement. So that'll be good for us to learn to use technology a little more efficiently. But we do look forward to working with everyone. Do you have to send your own snacks? That is a decision class by class. I know that with some classrooms, teachers will ask for donations. Some teachers will, if we have adopt a class. Mm-hmm. Some teachers will use their adopt a class money to purchase the snacks. So again, just make sure you contact your teacher and find out what they're doing. And I do know snacks a lot of times is an issue because we start lunch at.
Well, that's what I was going to say is we do have some, because we have a lot of cleaning protocols that we have to adhere by now in the cafeteria. That's created a schedule where we're going quite early and we're ending a little bit later than usual. So some of those classes, especially the upper grades, 4th and 5th grade, they're eating up until 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the afternoon. So those classes could probably use the support the most with furnishing some snacks.
Is it class by class? Is it wait? Those going to the school, do we send in our own snacks? You may send in your own snacks, but it is as far as snacks, if the teacher's gonna let the child just eat their snack, because we don't want to have some kids have snacks, other kids not having snacks. But they can bring their own snack. But I would encourage you to talk with the teacher, because I know a lot of times they will try to get parents to help with snacks or use their class funds for that. Just one final thought for nights. Should now be keep your patience. Oh yes, absolutely. Be patient, be understanding. Just continue to support you as you always have, and we certainly appreciate that. But that's the ticket. Just keep being patient. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Well, we're really happy to have this opportunity just to meet you. We were just saying how usually with Meet the Teacher, we get to see all the kids and see all the teachers, and doing this remotely has been a little sad, I have to admit. But this really makes me feel good, because I feel like even though I can't really see you, I feel like we at least have some connection, and this kind of brings me a little joy to just kind of have this conversation, and hopefully we can continue to do this from time to time. I will be starting our Thursday night reads next week. So if you are in our Facebook Thursday night read group, please sign in. If you're not, just go ahead and ask to join. We love to have you there. We enjoy getting together to read on Thursday nights. Normally I do that from home, so you get to meet my girls and my dog Virgil. And sometimes you might even hear my dad in the background. It's usually a lot of fun. The Dawson household, all lots of things happen there. So join us on Thursdays. We look forward to that. Any more questions? All right, then we're going to end for now. This video, if everything worked out, will be available on this site, and then also we'll try to see if Miss Gramlich can somehow save it. If not, you'll be able to come here and watch it on YouTube. Thank you, everybody. I'm glad you got good information, and that's my phone. And we'll see you later. Until next time, carpe diem, carpe success. Bye-bye.
Yes, we can.